to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call today. I thank all of you for attending this session. Please forgive me for interrupting your ecstatic chanting. I would like to read the 10 offenses to the holy names which are to be avoided, written by Srila Vyasadeva in the Padma Purana. Number 1, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Number 2, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of the Lord Vishnu. Number 3, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Number 4, to blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version. Number 5, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. Number 6, to give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. Number 7, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. Number 8, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, karma kanda. Number 9, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Number 10, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. Once again, devotees, I thank everyone for joining Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call today. Let us move to our next session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. May I know who all have joined this morning?
Hare Krishna Sundarangi Radha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Jai Narasimhadev. Happy Narasimha Chaturdasi to everyone. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Mataji, happy Narasimha Chaturdasi to everyone, all the devotees. Thank you so much, Mataji, for all your wonderful services. Please continue to do that, Mataji. Hare Krishna, welcome to the call.
हरे कृष्ण सुंदरंगी राधा माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम शिला प्रभुपाद की जय गुरु महाराज की जय हैप्पी नरसिंह चतुर्दशी to everyone and happy Mother's Day to all wonderful mothers at the group. Hare Krishna Pritidasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna Pritidasi Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for your wonderful association and for your wonderful wishes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Happy Narasimha Chaturdasi to you too. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind Das from Chicago. Happy Narasimha Chaturdashi and happy Mother's Day to all mothers. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Arvind Das Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining every day and giving your sweet association. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Sundarangi Radha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. This is Shama Gauri Devi Dasi from Charlotte, and happy Narasimha Chaturdashi and happy Mother's Day to everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Syama Gauri Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for your all wonderful services. Happy Narasimha Chaturdasi to everyone, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare
Welcome to the
Krishna.
call. Hare Krishna. Is there anyone else who would like to introduce themselves?
Hare Krishna Sundarangi Radha Mataji, all glories Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Raleigh. Happy Narasimha Chaturdashi and happy Mother's Day to everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call every day and giving your association. Yes, Mataji, welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, I will start the recording and the introduction will be done, and then
Hare Krishna.
we
Yes,
will wait for
Mataji.
Prabhuji, okay, Mataji, because
Yes,
Prabhuji
ma'am.
is joining early, it seems.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Today we are so fortunate to have His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji to enlighten us on the topic of a special topic on this auspicious day, Prahlada's prayer to Narasimhadeva, how seeming contradiction reveal a deepening devotion. Yes, Mataji. Is Prabhuji is on the call, Mataji?
I and Prabhu will do introduction. Yes,
Okay.
Mataji.
Okay. Hare Krishna, I am Prabhu. Now I will hand over the call. Before giving the call to Prabhuji, I will hand over the call to Ayan Prabhu to do the introduction. Prabhu, over to you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. I offer my obeisances to all the assembled devotees, all Guru Shishla Prabhupada. Here is a very brief introduction for our dear speaker. His Grace Chaitanya Charan Das. Prabhuji is a monk, mentor, and spiritual author. He has been educated in electronics and telecommunication engineering from the Government College of Engineering, Pune. He subsequently served as a software engineer in a prominent multinational software corporation, seeing the prevalent problems of stress, depression, addiction, and overall misdirection, all due to a lack of spirituality. He felt inspired to dedicate his life to the cause of sharing the spiritual wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita. He travels all over the world from Australia to America, giving talks on spiritual subjects in universities such as Princeton and Cambridge, and companies such as Intel and Microsoft. Prabhuji is the author of the world's only Gita Daily feature, wherein he writes daily a 300-word inspirational reflection on a verse from the Bhagavad Gita. As of now, he has written over 1,700 Gita meditations that are posted on www.gitadaily.com and are read through daily feeds by thousands from all over the world. He also answers questions by seekers on his site www.thespiritualscientist.com, where his over 3,500 audio answers and several hundred articles are available. Here's a brief introduction for Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Mataji, over to you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna and Prabhu, thank you so much for the brief introduction about Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your valuable time and association to us on this auspicious day of Narasimha Chaturdashi. Thank you, Prabhu. Whenever ready, please take over the call, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Can you unmute yourself, Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna.
Hey, you joined only one device, Prabhuji? Usually you join two devices.
Yeah, I'm just joining from the other device. Give me a minute. Okay. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणी वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Dear Lord, please guide us also that we can appreciate the depth of the love of your great devotees and be inspired to progress toward that love. Hare Krishna. Wish you all a very happy and auspicious Narasimha Chaturdashi appearance day, Narasimha appearance day, and I'm grateful for this opportunity to share about this exalted pastime of Lord Narasimhadeva. And I will be speaking today on the prayers of Prahlada Maharaj. And so I'll be just waiting to share my screen over here. Okay. I've asked for sharing on my tablet. Can you just give me that, right?
Yes, Prabhuji, done.
Thank you. So Srila Prahlada Maharaj's prayers are an amazing section of the Srimad Bhagavatam where his heart comes out and it's expressed in the contrast of what is happening in the conclusion of this particular pastime. So here I'll take basically, well, there are many prayers. I'll take a few of those prayers. I'll focus on those prayers and we'll discuss the contrast between the prayers. So through this, we'll try to understand how the main theme which I'll be talking today is how devotion, it is not a static emotion. While devotion is static means, oh, I love Krishna. Yes, there is that love for Krishna is there, but devotion is actually an evolving reciprocation and realization. That when we have bhakti for the Lord, at that time, actually, our mood also changes as we remember the Lord, as we reciprocate with the Lord, as we see how the Lord is reciprocating with us. And that is what makes bhakti so dynamic, that it is an evolving realization. So let's look at what this evolving realization means and how we can apply that principle in our lives. So I'll talk about a few specific prayers, which we will discuss one by one over here. Now, in the pastime, the Narasimha Leela comes in the 9th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And in this 9th chapter, the focus is on how the Lord is being approached by Prahlada Maharaj. And we can visualize the scenario at this particular point. This is the king of the demons who has just been destroyed. So there is this majestic assembly hall where Hiranyakashipu has ruled with terror, and nobody has even thought that he could ever be challenged over there. It is there that Prahlad had stood up to him. And Prahlad had been there, the command had been issued that he would be destroyed, that he should be destroyed. The Sabha that is here, just as in the Mahabharata, the Sabha is extremely significant. It is Asat Sabhaya. It is in the same Sabha that Hiranyakashipu, that Draupadi was dishonored. It was in the same Sabha that Krishna was dishonored. Of course, none of the attempts to dishonor succeeded, but still the attempts themselves were dishonor. Sometimes certain places themselves gain some significance because of the events that have happened over there. So every place has its ambience, its history associated with it. So Narasimhadev is now in that Sabha where Hiranyakashipu had ruled for decades upon decades with nobody ready to challenge him, having the courage to challenge him. And finally, Prahlad stood up to him. And when Prahlad stood up to him, at that time also, finally, what has happened? It is that the Lord has defeated Hiranyakashipu in his own court. Now, we often say this point that like, defeating the enemy in enemy territory. So that is extremely difficult and extremely laudable. In the cricket match between two countries, you go into the opposite country and the conditions are favorable to them, we defeat them over there. So Hiranyakashipu actually was defeated in his own court. And then the symbolic victory is complete and total when Lord Narasimhadev sits on the very throne on which Hiranyakashipu has sat. And while he's seated over there, it was on that throne when Prahlad had been raised and put on his father's lap. And from there, his father had knocked him down because he had given an answer that was displeasing to him. So Prahlad has now climbed up those very steps to the throne. He's right next to the Lord. And from there, he's offered prayers. And even before he is offering his prayers, the Lord is so pleased with him. The Lord puts his hand on his head and offers blessings to him. And after that, the Lord becomes peaceful. That Lord who was not pacified by the prayers of the Devatas, that Lord is now completely pacified and pleased with Prahlad. Even before beginning his prayers, just the sight pleases him. And this actually shows the depth of the bond between Prahlad and Narasimhadev. That although the Lord was very angry, sometimes we may be very angry with some person, but then we see somebody else, and that person we love very much, we care for very much. And in the presence of that person, immediately our anger disappears. A husband and wife might be having a severe quarrel, but if they see that child is listening and child is looking scared, immediately they just restrain their anger. Immediately the concern shifts to taking care of the child, pacifying the child. So how our emotions manifest also shows what we care for the most. So here, Prahlad, the sight of Prahlad has pacified Lord Narasimhadev. And then Lord Narasimhadev has blessed Prahlad, and then Prahlad will start speaking prayers. So when Prahlad is speaking at this particular time, his prayers are an outpouring of his heart. While there are many prayers in the Bhagavatam, and sometimes all the prayers, because they're philosophical, and sometimes the philosophy can seem quite similar, sometimes we may not notice the nuance in the prayers. So when we are trying to appreciate the prayers in the Bhagavatam, it's important to look at them in the context in which they are spoken. So when they are spoken in the context, when we look at the context, then what we will understand is that the key points, okay, not just what is being said, we can look at what is being said, but when is it being said? And why is it being said? So what refers to the content, but when and why, that refers to the context. And in some ways, the content is similar because the principle of love for Krishna is universal. It is similar. It is there everywhere. The context is different. And it is that context that brings a certain level of expression of the devotee's heart, what the devotee is going through at that particular time. So I'll talk about 3 themes within the prayers and how we can go far in our devotion by appreciating. So in the context, what happens when we look at certain things, then we see what is being expressed over here. It's just like if a class is going on and a speaker is speaking, and the speaker is talking about some issue, this kind of problem comes up, and this is how we should deal with it, this is how we should not deal with it. Now, if something is going on in the community where the talk is being given, then those who are in the audience understand what is being talked about over here. Okay, this is what is being said over here. For others, it may well be that, okay, this is a hypothetical situation, might be interesting, but if they don't know the larger context, okay, it just becomes one more principle. One nice talk, you may say. Okay, this is your take on this issue. I understand that now. So like that, we will look at Prahlad's prayers in context and we'll try to understand his heart. This is the moment of great glory, not just great glory, the greatest glory for him, that his Lord has protected him and his Lord has already rewarded him by giving him special honor. It is that having received that honor, how does Prahlad begin speaking? So the first point we'll talk about is F is fear. Sometimes people say we should conquer our fears. Well, first of all, that is impossible. And second is, it is undesirable. Why? To conquer our fears? No, we cannot conquer our fears. It is impossible. Because anybody who says that I am never afraid is a person who is either deceiving us or is being deceived or is deceiving themselves. That even great devotees are afraid of forgetting Krishna. So there is always fear in this world. It's impossible because there is so much danger in this world. And it is not just impossible, it is undesirable. Because fear itself is not a bad emotion. This fear is a pointer to danger. And where there is danger, we need to be alert. So fear actually puts us on high alert. When we say Bhaja Hure Mana Shinandanandana Abhaya Charanarvindari, they said when we remember Krishna, we become fearless. But being fearless does not mean being reckless. A devotee doesn't become careless or reckless. A devotee is always careful to try to serve Krishna as well as we can. So we don't want to conquer our fears. We don't want to also be conquered by our fears. What we want to do is, we want to channel our fears. That means, what is it that we should be afraid of and what is it we should not be afraid of? It's undesirable because if there is no fear, then we will run blind into danger. And that is not a healthy situation to be in. So we want to channel our fear. Our fear reveals what we hold dear. I repeat, our fear, it reveals what we hold dear. What are we afraid of? That is revealed by our fear. So we will see that what we consider important, what we consider dangerous, what we consider we want to avoid, all that is revealed by fear. We are finite living beings. And as finite living beings, then we are always vulnerable to danger. The fact that we are tatastha shakti means marginal energy, means we are vulnerable to higher influences. So let's look at two prayers where Prahlad talks about what he's afraid of and what he's not afraid of. So this is text 15. Naham bibhemya jitate ati bhayan kasya jivharka netra bhrukuti rabhaso gradam strad antras raja ksataja keshara shanku karnan nirhad bhit digibadar bhinna khagrat. So here, Naham Bibhemya, I am not afraid. I am not afraid, my dear Lord. Naham Bibhemya Ajitate, Ajitate, O unconquerable Lord. Ati Bhayanakasya. It's extremely fearful. So Prahlad is not denying the fact that the Lord looks scary, extremely scary. And he's describing the scariness of the Lord. Jivharka netra bhukuti rabhaso gradam strad. Jiva Arka. So he's saying that the tongue is like a sword. It's waving around. Arkanetra. Arkanetra is his eyes are fierce, like are blazing like the sun. Arkanetra, Bhrukuti, Rabhasogra, Damshtrat. The Lord was frowning in anger. An ordinary person, when they start frowning, it's not very pleasant to look at them. And the person is very powerful and the person is frowning, it becomes unnerving. So Bhrukuti, Rabhasogra, Damshtrat, Ugra Damshtrat. That your teeth, Damshtra Karalani Chate Bhayanakani. In the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna is looking at the universal form, there also he describes how the teeth of the universal form are extremely scary. Damshtra Karalani Chate Bhayanakani. So Bhaya, there's a lot of fear over there. Rabhasogra, Damshtrat, Ugra Damshtrat. The Lord is frowning and his teeth. Now, these teeth are the teeth of a lion. These can rip human flesh apart and devour it. So they are scary. Antras Rajak Shatachakeshara Shanku Karnan. And it is not just that the Lord may do something dangerous. The Lord has already done something dangerous. Antras Raja is wearing a garland of an intestine. Now this is scary. That what the Lord has done. See, Narasimhadeva has been ruthless with Hiranyakashipu. He's ripped his body apart and he's took out his intestine and worn that as a garland. To some extent, this can seem to the modern or postmodern sensibility is almost barbaric. How do you brutalize a body like that? That's what Lord Narasimhadeva has done. So you can just imagine the extent of the anger that must be there for someone to do something like that. Normally, in any tradition, even when somebody is killed, the idea is that you give the person a respectful burial, a respectful cremation. And even if it be an enemy, they try to have a respectful cremation. Even the Pandavas, they had Uluka, the one half brother of the Pandavas, of the Kauravas who had survived, performed the last rites for the Kauravas. So the idea is that the body, after the person is dead, the body should not be violated. But the Lord seems to be so angry that he has done that. Now the Acharyas give esoteric meaning that it is not out of anger, but it's out of love. Because the Lord feels that, it was through this intestine that the soul of my great devotee Prahlada manifested in this world. So inside the intestine, is there another Prahlada? Is there another great devotee like this? I want to find if there is. And if there is none, so he puts the garland on, not because of anger towards Hiranyakashipu or his expression of his brutal sign of victory, but he said this was the intestine through which the soul of my great devotee Prahlad passed while coming into this world. Therefore, I will wear this garland, not out of anger towards Hiranyakashipu, but out of affection towards Prahlad. So whatever be the reason somebody has worn something like this, the fact is that it looks a brutal sight. Wearing a garland. Antras Raja Shatajake Shanku Karnan. So the sight is still that there's blood all over the body. The blood is spread over his mane. Shatajake. So sometimes there's a fight, the warriors come back, their body may be soaked with blood at that time. There'll be blood sprinkled over the body, not just maybe soaked with sweat, but it will be soaked with blood also. So it's quite a scary sight. Normally speaking, even a little blood, if we see that blood is a small wound and little blood comes out, some people faint on the sight of the blood itself. Now, if the blood is there on the body of a person, it's everywhere on the body, it's even more scary. Are you wounded? Did you hurt somebody? Did you kill somebody? Where does the blood come from? Most people find it difficult to see blood like that. Tataja Keshara Shanko Karnan, his ears are tall and erect. And Nirad Bhid Digibad Aribin Nakagrat. And that Lord was roaring. One of the tactics in fighting is intimidation. And we don't just defeat the strength of the enemy, we defeat the spirit of the enemy. So we defeat the spirit. One way is by roaring. In the Bhagavad Gita's first chapter, it is described that both sides they blew their conches. But the Pandavas, their conches were such that it was not just tumulo abhinadayan, it was not just tumultuous sound, but Rudayani Vedarayat. Hearts were shaken and shattered of the Kauravas on hearing the sound of the Pandavas' conch shell. It was so fierce. So the idea is that Nirad Bhita Digibhad is described that the elephants who sustain the universe, elephants who were extremely powerful, they started trembling. They were filled with fear. Such was the scary roar. Those who are so steady that they bring steadiness to everything else, they became unsteady. And Aribin, Nakhagrat. And finally, it is Prahlad talks about the weapon that led to the destruction of the enemy. That is the nails of the Lord. Aribin Nakhagrat. It is with his nails, he just ripped Hiranyakashipu apart. Now, whenever a particular deadly weapon is used for a deadly purpose, if a bomb has destroyed a home or a particular place, then what happens is that anything that reminds people of the bomb, that gives them trauma. It's called PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. So if somebody has been killed by, somebody has seen somebody being killed by a gun, they might become very fearful of a gun. If drones are used, nowadays drones are being used in attacks, if nuclear weapons were used, say in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, then the remembrance of those weapons can cause fear. And the fact that Lord is simply ripped apart, Aribhin Khagrat, each of these features of the Lord can be a source of great fear. And Prahlad is saying, Naham Bibhemya, I am not afraid, my dear Lord. So why is he not afraid? So as I said, fear is not the problem. The question is, what is it that we are afraid of? So in this world, one of the functions of intelligence has many functions, but one of the things is that whenever we are looking at something, there is the appearance of that thing, how it looks, and then there is the substance of that thing. Substance is how it is, how it looks and how it is. So there are things that glitter and there are things that matter. So the appearance is the looks. Sometimes the appearance might be very attractive and may glitter. Some person might be very beautiful, very handsome, very gorgeous, whatever. But they might have a heart which is very cunning and duplicitous and manipulative. So if we see over here, I mean, Prahlad is looking at things and he is seeing the Lord on one side and he's seeing the world on the other side. There is the Lord on one side and the world on the other side. And the Lord, his appearance, the way he looks is scary. Here I'm using the word appearance, not in the sense of the appearance day of the Lord. Appearance means his vision, how he looks. The appearance is scary. Now, in contrast, if you look at the world, by appearance, the world looks attractive. It's alluring. It is enjoyable. It is pleasing. It looks attractive. So, the next verse he will say that, and the Lord, he says, there's no fear of this. Now, why is there no fear? Because his vision is not focused on the appearance. He's seeing beyond the appearance, the substance of the Lord. Is the beyond the appearance of substance. The substance is there is a heart filled with love. The heart that is filled with love, and that is what is driving him. That is what is leading to all the actions of the Lord. So Prahlad is focusing on that heart filled with love. And thus in the previous verse, he says, Ruchira Avatarai. He says, my dear Lord, you perform beautiful, sweet pastimes, Ruchira, pleasing pastimes. And you perform these pastimes for what? Shemaya. You perform these pastimes for the welfare of the world. So that theme that you, O Lord, this is two verses before. Sarveyami vidhikarastav satvadhamno brahmadayo vayamiveshna chodvijantah kshemaya bhutaya uttama sukhaya chasya vikriditam bhagwan ruchiravatarei bhagavato ruchiravatarei. So ruchiravatarei, you are very pleasing manifestation. This avatar is actually ruchira, very sweet. And then Shemaya Bhutaya Utatma Sukhaya Chasya. Shemaya, you come for the welfare of the world. Utatma Sukhaya. Atma Sukhaya, give grant to you the ultimate happiness. So the Lord is basically here, Prahlad is seeing beyond the appearance to the substance. That's why he's saying, my dear Lord, I am not afraid. I'm not afraid of you, because he sees beyond that appearance. There is so much love. The Lord has come out of love for benefiting everyone. So while there's a devotion is not just emotion, devotion is enlightened emotion. Devotion is wise emotion. The wisdom is seeing is his capacity, plus capacity to see beyond the appearance. And then he says, the next word he says, what am I afraid of? So he says, Rastosmyaham krupana vatsala dussa ogra samsara chakra kadanat grasatam pranitah vaddha swakarma bhirushatam te angri moolam prito apavarga sharanam vayase kadanu. So vayase kadanu, he says, my dear Lord, I'm longing. When will you call me back? What am I afraid of? Trastosmya. Now, there is bhaya and there is trasta. Bhaya is fear. So fear comes and goes. Sometimes there's a fearful situation, we are afraid. But if somebody says, I'm tormented by, I'm troubled by, I'm afflicted by, trasta is much more word. It's like I'm oppressed by. So, trastosmyaham krupana vatsala dussa. So he says, I am actually afflicted, my dear Lord, by. So what is it I'm afraid of? He says, I'm afraid of material existence. Samsara chakra kadanat grasatam pranitah. So samsara chakra, that in this samsara chakra, in this cycle of birth and death, kadanat grasatam pranitah, that, my dear Lord, I've been thrown into this ocean of material existence, the samsara chakra. Baddhaswakarma bhair ushatam te angrimulam grasatam pranitah. So then he says, why? Now he's so humble, he's saying it's because of swakarma bhir. It is only because of my own karma that I have been born over here. But I have been, anyway, that I'm born over here, te angrimulam, your lotus feet, I want to come back. So he says, I have fear of material existence. So now material existence does not always look fearful. Many times it looks very pleasant, it looks very enjoyable. And the more there is technological advancement, the more there is economic development, the more we try to conceal the nature of material existence. So everything we see, it's pleasant, it's enjoyable. Therefore, that way, we don't see the dangers of material existence. But Prahlad is seeing the material existence. And it's interesting, when he's afraid of the world, what is he afraid of? Now, fear of the world, for us, fear may be of many things. We may fear of disease, we may have fear of job loss, we may have a fear of being maybe losing our reputation, being humiliated by someone. Maybe we have done something in our past which we are not proud of, and we are afraid that may be revealed. So there are many things which we may be afraid of, but the fear in the material world. What is Prahlad Maharaj expressing fear of over here? His fear is not of these things. He's saying that, my dear Lord, I am, by my karma, born in this material world. Now, he later on will say, and we'll go get there if we get to that, get the time for discussing it, that he will say that actually, my dear Lord, it is you who have sent me to this world. But still, the point over here is that he's saying that I'm afraid not so much of what happens to me. His fear is not what happens to me. Actually, Prahlad has had the worst thing that have possible happened to him. What are the worst things? The worst thing is that he has been attempted to be killed by his own family, not just by his family. The Pandavas were attempted to be killed by their cousins. Okay, generally we expect to be supported by a family, but yeah, among siblings, among cousins, there can be rivalry. But it's far, far worse that the father who is meant to be protector, that person has tried to kill him. Normally, we are afraid of what may happen to us. But Prahlad's fear is what may happen through us. That when we are in bad association, when we are in an environment, sometimes the environment may be tempting and the environment may be pressurizing, and because of that, we may do certain things which we are not meant to do. So a devotee's fear is much more that bad association may contaminate me, and bad association may impel me to do certain things which are against my principles, which are against how I want to live in my life. So from material perspective, Prahlad has seen the best and the worst. The best is that he lived in royal luxury. He grew up as a prince, and not just a prince of some small kingdom. Even now in India, there are some parts where the kings are there, just nominal heads. There is in Britain some monarchy is there, but again it's a nominal head. Prahlad grew up as a prince of a person, of a king who was actually ruling the universe. In the material world, what happens? He has seen both the best and the worst. The best is the phenomenal prosperity. Worst is attacks and assassination attempts from within his family by his own father. But this is not what is causing him fear. He's saying that what I'm afraid of is that I may do something terrible. So what we fear reveals what we hold dear. And therefore, if we are afraid of forgetting Krishna, that means it is Krishna that we hold dear. If we are afraid of losing our connection with Krishna, that is what we hold dear. So what we fear reveals what we hold dear. And Prahlad's not being afraid of the material world, and still is not free from fear. Sorry, but Prahlad not being afraid of the fierce appearance of the Lord, but being afraid of the degrading power of the world, reveals that how even his emotion is enlightened and he's able to see beyond appearance to substance. And after that, the next is that what is it that we are attracted to? What is our attraction towards? So at one level, Prahlad Maharaj will say that I am attracted to the material world. He takes on the position of a conditioned soul, and he says that how all the senses are drawn toward the sense objects. Like that, I am also being drawn towards the sense objects. So But then he says that on one side he says I'm drawn toward the sense objects, but then he says that actually my heart is simply drawn towards you. So what he's attracted to reveals how he is in an exalted consciousness. So what is he saying over here? Jivvaikto achyuta vikarshati ma vitrupta. So he says, my dear Lord, my tongue is attracted to one thing. And he's saying all my senses are attracted to various different things. And in this way, I am captivated, I am captured by these things. Jivvaikto achyuta vikarshati ma vitrupta. Shishno anyatastagudaram shravanam kutaschet. Granoन्यतश्च फलदृक्वसः कर्म शक्तिर् भव्य sapatnyaiva geha patir lunanti. Are you able to hear me? Hare Krishna?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So he's praying over here that, my dear Lord, the different senses are pulling me in different directions and I'm caught in those senses. So this is the image we may have seen of a man being pulled by multiple wives in different directions. So Bahuvya sapatnya iva geha patim lunanti. So at one level he's saying that I'm attracted to all these things. And this may seem to be at one level, the level of a conditioned soul. But then where he says that, actually, I am completely absorbed in you. I have no fear of these things. This is just 2 verses later. That was 41 and now this 43. You know, this Prabhupada would quote this word quite often. Naivo dvijay paraduratyaya vaitaranyas Twadvirya mahamritamagnachittaha Shoche tato vimukachetasa indriyartha Maya sukhaya bharamudvahato vimudhan. So he's saying, on one side he's saying that I'm attracted to sense objects. He says, now I have no attraction toward the sense objects. I am completely absorbed in glorifying the Lord. Twadvirya mahamritamagnachittaha. In glorifying you, my Lord, I experience a mahamrita. I experience an ocean of happiness. And therefore, shochetato vimukachetasa indriyarthan. Those who turn away from you in seeking worldly pleasure, that is what I'm a lament for them. Maya sukhaya bharam udvahato vimudhan. See, generally in life we need to make choices. And there is material pleasure on one side, and then there is spiritual happiness on the other side. So now at one level, this is the choice we have to make. Which one will we choose? So for many of us, when you have to choose among these two, what happens is that now logically or philosophically speaking, we know that spiritual happiness is like an ocean and material happiness is very, very tiny as compared to that. Material happiness is just like a drop. And Prahlada also mentioned this later. He talks about how this is just it's madhulavaisha chamayandura. It's just like a small drop. All right. So now if we saw it like this, we would naturally go in this direction. But for us, now this is the vision of the wise. This is the pure vision, the wise vision. But the impure vision is that material happiness appears very large and spiritual happiness, you don't know how much size it is, but it seems very far away. And hypothetically, we know it is large, but how big is it? If this is our vision, then naturally we will turn in this direction. So what we are missing reveals what we are valuing. So if somebody say, if somebody is told to go to the temple, and while going to the temple, they are for a program and they're missing, oh, all my friends have gone to a party, they're enjoying over there. Then that's what we are missing, then that's what we are valuing. So if there is a session, there is a class online at the same time when a cricket match is going on. So if we are constantly checking the news, what happened over here, what happened over here. So what we are missing, it shows what we are valuing. What we are valuing. So now, most of us, even when we try to absorb ourselves in Krishna, there's a part of us, might feel, I'm missing so much pleasure. But Prahlad, he's so absorbed, he's not thinking, I'm missing that much pleasure. He's feeling that, they are missing so much pleasure. And therefore, this is for the sake of a drop of pleasure. Shocha tato vimukha chetasa indriyarthan. So what Prahlada is saying over here is that on one side he is saying that I'm attracted to sense objects. On the other side he's saying that, I have no attraction toward the sense objects. I lament those who have attraction, who have attraction toward the sense objects. So what's going on over there? Is this a contradiction? Is he just forgot? Did he just forget what he spoke 2 verses ago? What exactly is going on? If you see, Jivvaik Tochut Vikarshati is 40th text, and this is, I'm not at all afraid of material existence. It's 43rd text. It's a few verses later. So actually here, there's a key verse that is in between. That the verse in between is, well, no, this was Konmatrate Akhila Guru Bhagavan Prayasa Uttaranyasya Bhava Sambhava Lopaheto Mudheshu Vai Mahadanugraha Artha Bandho Kim Tena Te Priyajanan Anusevatam Naha Kim Tena Te Priyajanan Anusevatam Naha. So he says that, my dear Lord, you are the Akhila Guru Bhagavan. You are the Supreme Lord. You are the Akhila Guru. And as the Supreme Lord, you will surely be merciful to me. And you will protect me from material existence. And therefore, I have no fear of material existence. So, when he is previously saying that, my dear Lord, I'm attracted toward the sense objects, that is expressing an acknowledgement of the power of material existence. So, when we are growing in our bhakti, in our spiritual life, it's important to know how it works. Initially, we have a lot of confidence in power of our determination. I will achieve this by my will. I will achieve that by my will. We have a lot of faith in the power of our determination. Then, as we move forward, we start realizing the power of illusion. That there is something inside me which can destroy me. And people may not believe in the idea of Maya, but many people talk about nowadays their inner demons. I have my demons and they can destroy me. So we think by determination I can conquer the world, but then we realize that, there is something inside which will destroy me. But then after that, we have to realize the power of Krishna, power of Krishna's mercy. So what is happening is Prahlad is here revealing that recognizing how powerful Maya is also a sign of wisdom. See, many people who are attached don't think that they are attached. Many people who are materialistic, I can give this up whenever I want. But when we try to give it up, we realize it's so difficult. There's an European playwright, Oscar Wilde, he said, giving up smoking is the easiest thing in the world. I have done it over 1 million times. And so I've done it over 100 times, not 1 million times. So the idea is that I gave it up, but it didn't give me up. So this is also journey of realization. Somebody who says that, oh, you know, Maya is no power over me. Are they here or are they here? We think by our own determination we can conquer Maya. We have not really realized the power of Maya. So the 40th verse is expressing this realization. And 43rd verse is expressing this realization. That, my dear Lord, you will definitely be merciful to me. And when you are merciful to me, then I'm so attracted to you. I'm so absorbed in your glories that I don't feel any attraction to anything else, my Lord. So this is how Prahlad's prayers evolve. But on one side, he's expressing fear. He's saying that I'm attracted to material things. But then he's saying, no, I'm not attracted to material things. I'm only attracted towards you. I actually lament the plight of those who are attracted to material things. And then are there any questions or comments? You can take one more point here. Or if there are any questions, we can take questions. I'll need to leave in about 10 to 15 minutes. We can decide accordingly.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for such a beautiful class. Very grateful to you, Prabhuji. We will take questions, Prabhuji. Some devotees might have questions. Very beautiful class. Dear devotees, please raise your hand if you have any question, please.
Okay, let me quickly summarize then before we start the questions.
Okay, sure. By then they will raise hand, Prabhuji. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So today we discussed about appreciating Prahlad's devotion and through his prayers and the apparent contrast in his prayers. So I talked about when we look at the prayers, sometimes they may seem similar. There is the content of prayers and there is the context of prayers. Content is what is spoken, and content can sometimes seem similar in many prayers. But if you look at when a particular statement is being made, context is when is it being made and who is making it, where is it being made. So all those questions, they give us a better glimpse into what is going on in the particular prayer. Then I talk about two themes, what we fear and what is our attraction to. So now what is Prahlad afraid of? We discussed the fearsome appearance of the Lord. If you consider the Lord, his appearance is scary. Now his heart is loving. So Prahlad has no fear because he's seeing beyond the appearance to the beautiful, the loving heart of the Lord. Now the world, as contrasted, the world may appear alluring. It may seem enjoyable, but it is actually deceptive. It is entangling. It can bind us. So, and the binding of so he's seeing this and he's expressing fear. And even within that, what is his fear for? Not what will happen to him, but what will be done what will happen through him. That means by bad association, what he may be impelled to do, he's afraid of that. Although bad association not impelled him ever to do anything bad, he stood firm in his devotion. But that is the fear. Our fear reveals what we hold dear. It reveals what we hold dear. And his fear of doing something that may take him away from the Lord shows his attraction towards the Lord, how much he values the Lord. So then attraction is, at one level he says, initially in the 40th verse he's saying, my attraction is to sense objects. I'm being pulled toward the sense objects. And then a few verses later, in 43rd verse he's saying that the attraction is towards the Lord, no attraction toward the sense objects. This is actually an evolving realization that for us, first we understand the power of the sense objects, and then we respect that power, we recognize that this is dangerous, but after that we appreciate that the power of the Lord is greater. And when we are focusing on the power of the Lord, then realization comes that but material pleasure is just like a drop, and spiritual happiness is like a vast ocean. So therefore, naturally, we seek spiritual happiness and then we don't seek this. So Prahlad is saying that at one level, I'm attracted to sense objects. At another level, he's saying, I'm so attracted to you, my Lord, that I lament the plight of those who are attracted to sense objects. So we can all pray to Prahlad Maharaj that whatever way the Lord appears to us, even it seems to be through a scary adversity, that we see beyond that scary appearance of the Lord to his loving heart, and we're not afraid of that. Our fear be that we may not go away from the Lord by doing something which will be contrary to our devotional aspirations and principles, and that we may realize the power of Maya and be careful, and we may realize the greater power of Krishna and be purposeful in always trying to connect with Krishna through his remembrance, the way Prahlad exemplifies steady, unwavering remembrance of the Lord. Thank you very much. Any questions or comments?
Thank you, Prabhuji, for that summarizing. It really helps us to understand what we learned today. We have 2 raised hands. Shivakumar Prabhuji, please go ahead. Oh, sorry, you cannot unmute. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. Okay, please unmute, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Madam. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams, Prabhu. Thank you for today's class. Prabhu, one question I have, Prabhu. It's kind of a paradox within me. It is the unfavorable experiences of life that has kind of make me reflect and realize the glory of Krishna. At the same time, it is the unfavorable experience that is kind of leading to holding some unfavorable emotions towards Krishna, because being a remote cause, he has sanctioned it, without which things cannot happen in this world. So it seems there is paradox in me, Prabhu. I just wanted to hear from you on.
See, the human mind is quite curious at what will trigger what emotion. We cannot predict in advance. That it's like our outer situation and our inner devotion. Emotion specifically, but let's keep it devotion. Now, is there a relationship between this? Our outer situation can be favorable and our inner devotion can be high, can be present, strong. It can be present.
Not able to see the tablet.
Oh, really? Why is that?
You stopped the sharing, Prabhuji.
Okay, when I'm speaking, sorry about it. So, okay, it's taking some time. So I basically drawn a XY graph, x-axis graph, that our outer situation can sometimes be favorable, sometimes it can be unfavorable. And our inner devotion can sometimes be manifest, present, can sometimes be absent. So our inner attraction toward Krishna. If we feel attracted, we may not feel attracted. Like you said, the emotion can be favorable, it can be unfavorable. So now what do we do in such situations? So at such times, so now our outer situation, we cannot control that. What will trigger what emotion is very difficult to know. So what we try to do is we try to maintain our devotion in whatever way we can. We feel devotional emotion, we don't feel devotional emotion. So can unfavorable situation create a favorable emotion toward the Lord? That's possible. That means when we are in trouble, that's the time when we realize, Krishna, without you, I'm hopeless. Krishna, that all the promises of the world are deceptive. So an unfavorable emotion can attract us toward the Lord. Similarly, A favorable emotion a favorable situation can also attract us towards the Lord. My dear Lord, you are so merciful, you're so kind to me, you give me this favorable situation. I'll try to serve you better, serve you more in this situation. That's also possible. And now, sometimes it can happen that a favorable situation may make us feel that, my dear Lord, or we may think we don't need the Lord only. Yeah, it's all good. And unfavorable situation may make us think that what is the use of worshipping Krishna if even after worshipping Krishna I'm put in such unfavorable situation? So what can we do in such a situation? That's basically we can have three things that can aid us. So means basically what we are saying over here is this quadrant is what is healthy for us. These upper two quadrants, and that's where we want to be always. Whether the situation is favorable or unfavorable, griheta ko, vanata ko, sampade, vipade, always we want to be in connection with the Lord. And out of situation favorable, unfavorable, we don't want to be in this situation. So now we can't control whether the situation will be favorable or unfavorable, but we can try to control whether our disposition is favorable or unfavorable. And to that end, what do? To that end, we can have three things to aid us. That we can try to have good association, which reminds us of what is really important in life. And along with association, we need to strengthen our intelligence internally. Now, so association is more like the external support that we have. So if we start feeling bitter, we talk with devotees, we unburden ourselves. And Guhyam Akhyati Prichyati helps us deal with that. And there's the intelligence that we have. And with the intelligence, then after that, so okay, this situation is there. It's a phase that I'm passing through. This phase will end. Let me not be carried away by this phase. That's intelligence. And after that, we need to maintain our determination. So it is these three things that can actually help us. So Utsaha, Nishchaya, Dhairyat, all those principles are talked about for bhakti. So I focus on these three practically because these three can actually help us. So just because I am feeling in a particular way, doesn't mean I have to stay stuck in that feeling. With my intelligence, I can say that this feeling is unfavorable, this feeling is unwanted, and I will not focus on. Our feelings don't have to become our failings. Feeling means that becomes our weakness, which knocks us down. If we don't dwell on the feeling, it will go away. It's like a pop-up inside us. So we use our intelligence and we use our determination. That means, okay, determination is, when do we need determination? If we love cricket, and I have a lot of determination to watch a cricket match. Well, if we love cricket, the cricket is streaming live on our TV, which is at home. We already have a good Wi-Fi. There's no determination required over there. Determination is required when there is opposition. Say, if we have some urgent work deadline and there is no TV available, and then we say, okay, I'll work from home, and we go home, and a boss says that, oh, you have to complete this work, and I say, no, I'll do something. We speak some lies or whatever. We can do various things to weasel their way out of their work. So when you do that, that's determination. So when there is opposition, that's when, with our intelligence, first we understand that this war is worth fighting. Determination is actually fighting the war. So ultimately, without determination, Prabhupada says that even Krishna cannot help us. So association and intelligence, these are basically external and internal supports for determination. So the emotions may sometimes help us. They may not sometimes help us. So we need to be able to push in spite of the emotions, but we can try to get supports for pushing ourselves. And that way, in unfavorable situation, you can say, Krishna, you have given me realization about the nature of the world so that I can come closer to you. And in favorable situations, you can say, Krishna, You put me in this comfortable situation so that I don't have to worry about my financial needs, my health situation, my relational needs, but I can undistractedly focus on you, my Lord. So both ways a devotee tries to stay favorably disposed toward the Lord. Thank you very much. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Narasimhadev Bhagwan ki jai. Shri Prahlada Raj ki. Narasimha Chaturdashi Mahamahotsav ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Gaur
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much.
So you don't have time for one more question, Prabhuji?
Yes, Swamiji, I need to leave right now. Please
Okay,
help me.
Prabhuji.
Thank you
Okay,
so much.
Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your association on this very auspicious day and enlightening us on the topic of Lord Narasimhadev. We would offer ourselves to you, Prabhuji.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai, assembled
Jai.
jai. His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji ki
जय
jai.
हो चैतन्य प्रभु की जय हो
Jai, jai,
Jai.
jai.
राधे
नाइस टू
राधे
सी यू
Radhe,
राधे राधे
Radhe.
Hari Bol. Jai.
Hari bol. Closing the
गौरांगा
call.
Krishna.
Nityananda.
नित्यानंदा
Hari
नित्यानंद
Bol.
Wish you all a happy
नचिकेय
Narasimha
भगवान की जय
Chaturdashi.
Happy Narasimha Chaturdashi to
ललिता माता
everyone.
देवबंद
Hari
प्रभु थैंक यू
Hari.
हरे कृष्णा
Same
प्लीज
to
ब्लेस
you.
मी
And happy Mother's Day.
Happy
हैप्पी
Mother's Day,
मदर्स डे
Mataji. Happy Mother's
फर्स्ट
Day.
फर्स्ट फॉर ललिता माता डे बिगेस्ट मदर देयर
Yeah,
एज
yes,
द
yes,
नीता माता
yes.
जी श्यामा गौरी माता जी ऑल
Happy
कृष्ण कुमारी
Mother's
माता
Day
जी
to everyone. Krishna Kumari Mataji and Lalita Mataji.
so
Please bless me,
please
Mataji. You
bless me
are.
you are all my mothers please bless me I am the youngest child
Ishopanishad Mataji, please bless me, Mataji. Everybody,
please
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 bless me. Hari Hari Bol.
Lalita Mataji, please bless me, Mataji. You are a pure devotee.
Hari Hari Bol.
Dinabandhu
Hari
Prabhu, you are my
Bol.
father. She's mother. Please bless me, my father.
Okay. Okay. Jai